I feel that we find it really difficult to break these teams down. And this isn't new to Spurs. This goes back to Pochettino's Spurs. I remember games at Wembley against Swansea, 0-0s, and we just couldn't break teams down that banking on us. Darren, how do you do that? How do you break down those teams? Because when I look at the Premier League, I hate to say it on Inside Spurs, but Arsenal, they managed to do it with Newcastle, who applied and had 5 at the back at the end. But what did they have? They've got Declan Rice's deliveries. Unbelievable. Then you look, at Manchester City, for example, in those times of problems, they've got someone like Doku who can really open up, defences. What have Spurs got in their armoury at present that you feel we're not utilising?
Well, they've got the players, for sure. They need to be brave. And when I say brave in terms, I'm talking Thomas Frank needs to be brave. Exactly what you said. Against teams like this, don't play 2 deep-line midfielders. Even if you do, bring players on earlier. Because if you're playing against that double low block, you need players that are going to move the players, the opposition around, get them out of their positions. It's easy to play that double low block if you're also playing in a low block yourself. So there's no real opposition player that they're going to have to go, worry about him, worry about Sarr there. Maybe Brennan Johnson could have come on, Xavi Simons could have gone as a 10, and with Bergvall, those two in there, trying to create openings.
That's what happened later on. He brought on Brennan Johnson, didn't he? And he put Kudus on the other side and Xavi in the 10.
Yeah.
But it felt like that should have been done a lot earlier.
They should have started with it.
You mentioned Brennan Johnson. Are you a fan of his?
I'm a huge fan of his. How could you not? I literally, it defies belief that people would not back him.
So he gets a lot of stick online. Spurs groups I'm in absolutely can't stand him, even though top goal scorer for the club last season, 18 goals, 11 goals in the Premier League. Obviously the moment in Bilbao that we'll never forget as Spurs fans. One thing I'd say about Brennan Johnson is he definitely must be someone who probably needs an arm around him. If you're someone that comes off social media because of getting stick and abuse, I think Troy Deeney said it yesterday when he was on air on talkSPORT that he feels like that might be a mentality thing there. So he might be a more sensitive soul. That's fine. You have
he's
to
so young still.
Yeah, he's 24. I personally feel, and it'd be interesting what the viewers feel, please feel free to let me know what you think of this in the comments. Brennan Johnson, I don't feel out wide on the right is his best position. Now, if you look at some of the goals that he's got this season, the goal against Burnley, the goal against Doncaster, I know it's Doncaster, but still you've got to do the run. Arriving late pass, he's got the legs on people. He's an instinctive finisher. When he doesn't have to think, Brennan Johnson's superb, in my opinion. When he comes up 1v1 against a decent defender, it's not even 1v1, it's 1v2 because of the double low block, cuts inside, passes again, slows our play down. I feel, especially at moments when it's not working for Richarlison up front, we don't have another number 9, why not play Brennan Johnson in that 9?
100% agreed. I've been saying this since last season as well. In terms of his goal-scoring ability, arriving in the box, sniffing out chances, I think he deserves an opportunity as that number 9. As a wide player, for me, Brennan Johnson, if he's not in the game, he doesn't try to go and get involved in the game.
Yes.
And I think that's where the criticisms come from.
Style, though, is it?
Exactly. So I feel that being that number 9, sniffing chances out in the box, letting other players do that work and getting involved from the wide when the ball comes in. If he had 4 touches in a half and scored 1 each half, no one would question that. But when you're out wide, I was there, I played there, and you don't get involved, it's like you're down to 10 men. And I was criticised for that as well because I didn't try to go and get involved
I wanted more from you, Dan.
Exactly.
You didn't give me enough, mate.
Until I learned that position, and I still think that's what he's doing.
Did you try and then feel like you were getting sucked in and not getting joy from that? Because that's what I feel. I'm not a football player, I'm a hockey player, but I feel like you know what your strengths are.
Yeah.
And if you do get sucked, you know that where you get the most joy out of where you're playing is you want someone to know that you're going to be there no matter what on that post, sliding it in, like it's going to be a tap-in, but it's going to go in the goal. I think that's what Brennan Johnson does. Yeah. As soon as you suck him in, like you said, if he was to try and take on a 1v1 out of position in the middle, then what's he doing? Everyone would be like, what are you doing? Yeah. And that's on a big platform, a big stage to be doing that when that's not where he's meant to be or where he wants it.
Exactly right. In terms of when I played on the wing, if I did, because eventually I'm bored out here not getting the ball. Sometimes it'll go fully down the left-hand side and I'm out on the right. So you go looking for it. Then you're out of position. the manager screams on, you're out of position, the fullback gets out, the players are going, what are you doing? You're compressing our space as well. So, yeah, and then you have to just stand out there, run back and forth, never get a touch. And you do get criticised for that because it looks like you're not involved, even though you're doing the job that's asked of you. Mm-hmm. Again, I just go back to give him that freedom, play him in that number 9. It's not really working at the moment with Richarlison. I really like him as a player. Works extremely hard.
And that number 9 is almost like a false 9, isn't it, really? You know, and it's not an out-and-out striker. He can sort of come from a bit deeper as well. He's got the pace.
I played with his dad, by the way, David Johnson. At
Really?
Ipswich, and he was an out-and-out number 9.
Okay.
And an unbelievable finisher. And there's an element of that I see in Brennan in terms of his arriving at the right times. Some of the finishes that he does, this season, some of the finishes, just off the cuff, not thinking about it, looks natural. Give him that penalty box area, the width of the penalty box. Let him go there, sniff out chances, and I'm sure that one's when you're not thinking about it, as you said, he'll score goals there.
Yeah, I think for me personally, like I said, we know he can score goals. The numbers are there, you know. So I'm not going to be on someone's back who scored 18 goals for us last season. He's a young lad as well.
Yeah.
I just feel like, especially the addition of Kudus, that right-hand side for me is Kudus. It belongs to him. Yep. Him and Poro definitely are the two at the back for me. Again, that brings us on nicely to the back 4 at the weekend. Of course, we saw Jed Spence revert back to his sort of traditional position on the right-hand side of the defence with Udogie on the left. Udogie still feels a little bit rusty for me at the moment. I still think our best 4 is Spence on the left and Poro on the right at the moment. What did you make of Udogie's performance?
Yeah, same. A bit rusty.
Rusty.
Yeah, a bit rusty. Not had much football, having injuries concerns as well. So, yeah, he needs to get up to speed. But do we want him to get up to speed? Was that a bad error from Thomas Frank, letting him get up to speed against Wolves? Maybe thinking, look, this is the game I can bring him in, get him up to speed. I agree with you. Our best back 4 at the moment is Spence on the left, Poro on the right. Poro's unbelievable down the right-hand side, and trying to have that connection link up with Kudus as well. You need that to progress and keep going and getting stronger and stronger. So I just felt that maybe it was an error playing Udogie on the left.
And I don't think Spence had his best game, Jess. There was no one in the penitentiary this weekend.
No,
right?
I was upset. I was going to say, normally he's got the after-game post on Instagram.
I don't know why he's not called it the penitentiary. It needs to be the penitentiary.
That's a trick. But I agree with you. And I also think that Poro should have started. But Poro started the last game, which I think he shouldn't have done.
And was captain against Doncaster. I think there's little moments like that. I think he's rewarding people with, you know, the right games. This is a big step up for Thomas Frank in terms of game management.
Yeah.